Ladies and gentlemen, here we are again at Hudson County View, live at Uncut. I am your host, the guy that has the skills to make any video go viral, every local politician's favorite rival, John Arhitis. And today we have a lot of quality product for you, as always. The meat of our show is going to revolve around two representatives from NY Waterway as they talk to us about the ongoing saga with the city of Hoboken and Union Dry Dock. So we can look forward to that. We're going to give them a little extra time than we do for most of our guests, since this is a big topic. And we do have some other local issues for you, though, outside of Hoboken. We're also going to talk about that police-involved shooting in Jersey City that happened at the beginning of the month. Hudson County Prosecutor Esther Suarez, Mayor Stephen Fuller, Public Safety Director James Shea, and a slew of other officials gathered on Monday night as part of the Hudson County Democratic Organization Black Caucus to discuss this issue. And while some people were dissatisfied with the amount of details that were given, we were given some new facts, such as the three officers involved, their current work status, and who is investigating the case. So we want to tell you about that. And up north, we also have some new developments in the ongoing feud between State Senator and Mayor Nick Sacco and his perennial rival Larry Weinstein. In an interesting twist of fate there, we see that longtime Weinstein ally Mario Blanche, who has served as counsel for him on a number of cases, including the North Bergen Liberty Generating Project, including also trying to stop the school board referendum, as well as a campaign issue regarding the North Bergen Housing Authority. It turns out that he's withdrawn from all of those cases I just mentioned, and in a court filing in a U.S. District Court, that particularly the NBHA matter I was just mentioning, he said that Joe Macco has been a driving force in that campaign effort of Weinstein. This is an accusation that goes back many years, but this is the first time it's actually appeared anywhere in a formal setting, I guess you could say. Obviously, that was, again, a court filing. So that's an interesting development up north, but also interesting timing. That court filings from June 18th, which was about a month, of course, after the municipal elections in May. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be with our representatives from NY Waterway, so stick with us. We'll be right back.
It takes more than a state-of-the-art medical facility to make a great hospital. It takes a team of dedicated medical professionals. That's the Jersey City Medical Center, Hudson County's #1 hospital. Medical teams consisting of New Jersey's top doctors, Magnet Award-winning nurses, and accomplished hospital associates, all committed to your good health. That's what you have at the Jersey City Medical Center. Make Hudson County's #1 hospital your first choice. Visit us on the web at barnabashealth.org. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in 10 high-rise rental towers with amenities such as the on-site Newport Path subway, light rail and ferry service, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Sears, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams Supermarket is just outside your front door. A health and fitness club, spa, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. NewportNJ.com. Enjoy the New York skyline from Newport Town Square. Manhattan is just one path stop away or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Want to visit Newport? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. Go to NewportNJ.com for details. Newport has luxurious towers, great restaurants, shopping, New York skyline views, schools, playgrounds, a marina and yacht club, gym, spa, fine wine, fine living. It's incredible. It's you. NewportNJ.com. Newport, live like you want.
The Jersey City Medical Center. You know it for its award-winning, life-saving ambulance service. It's also your health hub, with health and wellness locations staffed with certified professionals all through Hudson County. The Jersey City Medical Center, here to help you with your healthy, here when you need us the most. The Jersey City Medical Center. Visit us on the net to learn more. Jersey City Medical Center, Robert Wood Johnson, Barnabas Health Facility. Let's be healthy together.
Gentlemen, here we are again, Hudson County View, live at Uncut. I'm John Arhitis, and as promised, we are here with two reps from New York Waterway. Donald and Jennifer, could you just introduce yourselves quickly for our guests?
Sure. My name is Donald Eloya. I'm with New York Waterway, Vice President. Nice to meet you, John.
Yes, great to have you guys.
Thank you for the opportunity.
And I'm Jennifer Shuck, Communications for New York Waterway.
All right, great to have you as well, Jennifer. So, obviously, this is a conversation we could probably do an hour on, but we're going to do about 15, 20 minutes. So I guess first things first, this week, you guys, I'm sure, heard there were 13 environmental groups that wrote a letter to Tammy Murphy. This letter was actually a month old, but it just hit the public domain this week. And they basically said that we don't think this refueling maintenance and ferry facility is fit for Union Dry Dock, and so on and so forth. So this is something that we've heard from some environmentalists and from some city officials before. So just what are your thoughts on this latest development here?
Well, we obviously don't agree with the content of the letter. I'm not quite sure who the 13 groups are. Some of them are unknown to us. But, we feel that Union Dry Dock is the right place, obviously, for a maintenance facility. It's been a shipyard for over 130 years, and from an environmental standpoint, we think it's really the best spot. I mean, it's an existing facility. It's deep water. It has the piers. It has everything you need to simply move in and start your operation. I saw the letter. I think a lot of the information in the letter is incorrect, frankly, flat out misrepresenting the facts. So we're happy to talk about that if you wish.
Sure. What do you think was misleading or erroneous in that account from those groups?
Well, I think the way they represent the New Jersey Transit facility and the permits that were acquired for that, I was intimately involved in that permit process. They suggested that we could berth 18 boats there, but actually the permit was only for 6. And if you really look at the documents, our ability to maintain our fleet there is very constrained. And in fact, that permit for that facility was issued at a time when the company was really half the size. Since 2009, New York Waterway has doubled the size of its fleet through an acquisition of another ferry company. So Union Dry Dock has really been on our radar for many years. So
at least a decade.
Oh, easy.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been with the company 20 years. We've been looking at it at least that long.
Okay, very good. So now we've heard from Mayor Ravi Bala and again other city officials, and they're talking about the Lackawanna terminal as the optimal location for this refueling site. So why do you guys disagree that that is actually the best location in Hoboken or anywhere else?
Well, I think first and foremost, you can't get the fuel to the boats at New Jersey Transit. Our access is very, very limited. There really is no upland area for us to service our boats. You would probably, to get the equivalent space, have to build about a 2 or 3 acre pier at the Erie Lackawanna terminal, which in itself is a historic building. I think from an environmental standpoint, that's a very heavy lift to get that pier approved. And then you'd have to go through the State Historic Preservation Office, whether or not it's actually consistent with their goals for the building. So there's a lot of work, and I don't think it would be readily accomplished.
All right, so we've obviously seen the renderings of this project, and I don't know how many people have. I mean, obviously it's out there, but for the people that just aren't familiar with what the vision is, could you just explain to us how this looks from your perspective and why this is not going to, infringe on the property, the homes, the lives, whatever, of Hoboken residents, as some people have indicated that they feel it may?
Well, I think first and foremost, they represent it as a heavy refueling facility. And that's just incorrect. It's just not true. It's that simple. Our plans to store fuel there, we do plan to store fuel there, but it'd be less than 30,000 gallons. And I would suggest that the gas station on the corner of 19th Street in Hoboken probably has twice that many gallons of fuel stored. I would actually think that the boats that are in the neighborhood not far north of us probably have more fuel stored in them than we would store on the facility. So first and foremost, that is just a misrepresentation. It's not a heavy fueling facility.
And
So
it's
how
not
many-
going to be in the water either, the fuel. A lot of people think that the fuel is going to be in the stored in the water.
So the fuel will be stored inside a building in double containments, and yet inside yet another containment system, fully functional for today's regulations.
All right, and how many boats do you think will pass through on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis?
Well, it varies. We store a lot of boats out in the field.
Sure.
I think the permits that we have in hand, and we do have permits in hand. We have permits from the Army Corps, and we have permits from New Jersey DEP that would permit us to move in tomorrow. In fact, we'll be in court on July 26th. Hopefully the judge will validate our opinion that we have the right to move in and start operating. The application showed that at most 20 slots for boats, but it varies during the course of the day.
Okay, got it. So now obviously you just mentioned that this is still tied up in litigation, relatively new litigation, but despite that fact, Mayor Bala, as you're aware, has called for, again, an eminent domain process. So your take on that?
Well, we think he's misguided, obviously. We haven't really had the opportunity to present the plan to the city of Hoboken. Once we had acquired the land, we went to the mayor, spoke with him directly. In fact, at that meeting, he assured us we would have the opportunity to hold a charrette with the neighborhood so they could understand what it is we wanted to build and what it was that they were interested in.
Like a public neighborhood hearing.
A public neighborhood, but we never had that opportunity. And frankly, shortly thereafter, we were in the process of being condemned. But we did our due diligence. The land is appropriately zoned. It's been an active facility for 130 years. It was never part of the city's open space plan, at least not until after we bought it. It's not the only remaining piece of waterfront that's not a park. I mean, you simply got to go south a few blocks and Stevens Institute has its maintenance facility on the waterfront.
No, that's true. So
I guess, as Donald was saying before, is that we weren't given the opportunity to present to the citizens of Hoboken, but we've been trying to do that ourselves as much as possible to get the word out about our side. We attended the Hoboken Street Festival where we got a lot of questions and we're able to answer a lot of questions. We've had our community development team out there in Hoboken, with a table offering some information just so people can get more aware about what we're talking about here. And opportunities like this is a wonderful thing for us. We are going to have some information sessions coming up, and of course you can go to nywaterway.com/thetruth where you can find out more information about our site and about upcoming informational sessions. But just because Donald was talking about that before, I just wanted to point that out.
Sure. So on that point, when do you know offhand when the next session is?
It should be coming at the end of July. Probably around the week of the 22nd or so. So I would just, we're going to be giving out some more information through our website about that, but I would definitely watch for that, updates and information on when we're going to be out there. But we encourage anybody really just to ask us questions. We get a lot of response on social media, but it's never really, it's more critical and attacking on us than anything else. You know what I'm saying?
On social media?
Yeah, and we're really open. As Donald said, we're really open to answering questions for people, and that's why we will be holding these informational sessions, hopefully at the end of July, and people come out and really ask some, questions that and not just attacking questions on us or things like that. I know in that letter to Tammy Murphy, the mayor was saying that we're attacking the city council. I don't see that at all. And I know that Tammy Murphy has seen Mr. Imperator in his rare form because we were participating in a July 4th celebration. On the 4th of July, Mr. Imperator came down wearing his, World War II veteran hat, sitting on the side of the parade with his wife, waiting for the parade to come by. Tammy Murphy saw him, came up, thanked him for his service, unaware of who he was. So, and he introduced himself, and she saw him in his rare form as a patriot, as someone who's supportive of his family and of his company and of the community, and that's really who he is.
Interesting. So we're not done. We're going to talk a lot more New York Waterway and Union Dry Dock, but we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer a Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments. Carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants. All major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
And we're back, Hudson County View, live at Uncut, and we are still talking about Union Dry Dock with a couple representatives from New York Waterway. So we were just discussing a little bit about Tammy Murphy and Arthur Imperator just recently had an encounter, totally independent of this issue.
Right.
And you were just telling us that he was thanked for his service, and they had do they have any prior relationship before that meeting?
No, I mean, I get, we of course have, spoken with the governor, but not Tammy Murphy herself that I'm aware of. But she had just seen a veteran, a World War II veteran, sitting on the side of a parade, came up to thank him for his service, which I thought was wonderful that she acknowledged him as a veteran.
Sure.
And she saw like really who he is, what he's about. And he really is about community, he's about family, he's about supporting his company and the employees. And this is really what Union Dry Dock is about. It's about the employees and the 35,000 customers that we move a day. I mean, so the facility is since I came to Waterway like almost 6 years ago, one of the things that I walked in the door, he said to me, I got to get them out of that work area. They deserve better. They need a bigger space. They're doing an amazing job, but I want to do better for them. This is for the employees and this is for the commuters that these boats are maintained for. So I mean, Mr. Imperator, I think that he's been mischaracterized himself, like attacked in the social media and by the mayor himself. About being a bully, and that's really, really far from what he is. And I was saying how we were at, as we speak right now, we have a school group singing at our terminal, and a lot of times the community groups out there are talking about the kids. Well, if you want to talk about kids, like I said, right now we have a school group singing at the terminal.
But I think we'll really talk about the specifics of the facility.
Sure.
And if you look at the renderings and you look, it's a major investment on our part, a major cleanup of the site. Again, the misrepresentations, the flat-out untruths, that the facility needs to be dredged. It doesn't need to be dredged. It's a deep water facility. That the upland is contaminated. It's not contaminated. It's been studied several times. There's been 3 environmental analyses done on the site. It's actually remarkably clean for a facility of that nature. So our ability to move in, improve the site, and make it part of the historic working waterfront that existed in Hudson County for decades, if not centuries, is right at our fingertips, and we can do it. And we need, really, for the people of Hoboken to understand what it is we're prepared to bring there. And I would suggest to you and to the mayor and to the council that if these were 15 100-foot yachts that were going to be stored at that facility, we would not be having this conversation today. And it's only because it's being misrepresented as to the nature of the work and the nature of the facility that's going to be built there. And if you look at the renderings and you look at the building and our improvements, I think it's not only an improvement, but a very nice addition to the waterfront. The cove that's adjacent to the facility will be protected. The people that go in the water in that cove will be protected.
Right, we've heard a lot of parents say that they're afraid that if this project comes, their kids won't be allowed to use the cove, no more paddleboarding and all that stuff. So, obviously, could you elaborate on what your plan is for the cove?
Well, the first thing, we propose to give them more area to use in the cove. We propose to build a pier with a wave attenuator that would prevent any activity that's occurring inside the maintenance facility to impact the cove. I think, you also need to be clear. I mean, they represent it as if it's the last piece of pristine Hudson waterfront. It was actually a coal tar transfer point up until probably the early 2000s when Maxwell was being built and the piers were demolished. So the cove is relatively new, but we understand that. We understand our obligations. We're prepared to work with the community. I suggest the people that are so vocal against us go take a look at our facilities at Battery Park City, which is in a park, at 39th Street in Midtown Manhattan, which is in a park, at our terminal in Weehawken, which is part of the Esplanade, has been integrated into our operation. It can be accomplished, but it can't be accomplished if all you're going to do is spread untruths about our operation and what it is we propose to build there. And I find it ironic, I was sitting at a council meeting and a woman got up to speak and why we should not be allowed to move forward. And her comment was, I want to be able to walk my dog with an unimpeded view of Manhattan. So you have to weigh. You have to weigh the factors. Is walking your dog with an unimpeded view of Manhattan more important than good working class jobs and the ability to support a transportation network that moves, frankly, about 10% of the people from northern New Jersey?
Yes, and we also had union representatives mocked when they came to speak on behalf of the unions that we have represented.
Okay, how many jobs would this bring to the area for New York Waterway if things go smoothly?
We have an existing maintenance force of about 40 people. Our company employs about 400 people. A good portion of them live in Hudson County.
Yeah, about half.
So
more than half.
They're good union, well-paying, well-benefited jobs. So the ability to make it safer for our employees is our highest priority. The facility that we have right now is in a tough situation. It needs to be relocated. It needs to be relocated soon. So new jobs, limited new job growth. It depends really on the growth of the ferry operation. But the reality is it's job preservation. And most of those are Hudson County jobs.
So on a different note, we've heard from City Hall that the fact that New York Waterway was going to be quote-unquote evicted from the Weehawken facility was misrepresented because you guys are still there. So I mean, I think a lot of people are not really clear on what the agreement is on that existing property that you guys have been using for a really long time and why, there was this notion out there that an eviction was forthcoming or already happened. So could you clarify what exactly that was about?
Well, we had a handshake arrangement with the owners of the upland, which allowed us to use maybe an acre and a half of upland for storage and parking. We've been asked to move. We have moved. Right now we have no upland storage. We have no upland working area. So we really rely on everything that's floating in the water. That's our maintenance facility today. So we are gone. We are off the upland. We did not own it. We haven't owned it for over a decade. And frankly, the transfer of that land is what really helped the ferry survive at a time when we were struggling post 9/11.
So finally,
and we're talking about the other work dock. We're talking about our existing one. I brought another group of journalists down to see it, and they were actually shocked how small it was. So I mean, if people would take time to look at these things and kind of really get some some insight and some knowledge on what the situation is down there, it's fine, but it's also very small and it needs to be expanded. Sorry.
So finally, the governor has been asked by the mayor and others on many occasions to intervene in this matter and, wants him to halt the project. Obviously, that hasn't happened. In your guys' conversations with the governor, I mean, what kind of message are you getting, if any?
Well, we have conversations with many people in Trenton. We believe that, the governor will make the right choice, and that choice is for the greater population of New Jersey, not a handful of affluent condo owners that happen to live a few hundred feet away from a proposed maintenance facility. So we believe that ultimately the right decision will be made in Trenton, and we think that's the one that will support us.
Fantastic. Guys, thanks for coming on. It was
Thanks
a pleasure.
for the opportunity.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. We're going to take another break. We will be back in a hot second.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City. Shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office space and an address your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment. Adjacent to all modes of transportation. On-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. 201-521-9000 or visit on the web at panapintoproperties.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Introducing the MyJCMC app, powered by Practice Unite. The free MyJCMC app puts the power of healthcare at your fingertips. Go to the concierge for access to referrals, scheduling, and appointments. See emergency room wait times and get directions to Jersey City Medical Center health locations. Read the latest JCMC news through their social media feed, find a doctor, and more. The MyJCMC app. We belong to you.
Rama Jewelers, located in the Lyndhurst Shopping Center at 413 Valley Brook Avenue, Lyndhurst. Come for all your jeweler needs at Rama Jewelers, where you will find a fine selection of necklaces, earrings, rings, and bracelets. Choose from one of our complete sets, our many signature items, or find the perfect engagement ring. Come on down. That's Rama Jewelers at 413 Valley Brook Ave, Lyndhurst. Call 201-939-5784 or visit us online today.
All right, Hudson County View live at Uncut. Back, John Heides, and here is Mark Bucinich. So, Mark, obviously you were over in the Biosquare City last night. Another really quick and punctual and non-aggravating council meeting, right?
To say the least.
So, all jokes aside for the moment, just tell us a little bit about that special improvement district and what you were hearing from those residents from Hoboken.
Yeah, John, thanks for the time. Yeah, it was many speakers from the 3rd Ward who were saying that they're not necessarily in favor of the special improvement district. And so much so that Councilman Mike Russo at one point during the council meeting said that he wants to carve out the 3rd Ward, the ward that he represents, from the overall special improvement district because he's received so many complaints, phone calls, emails, that the residents in those wards, in that ward, doesn't want to be included because they feel, for example, that it may lead to increased taxes, and they don't know if there'll really be a benefit as far as improvements to if there'll be any improvements to their overall business climate, as well as quality of life issues such as parking, improved parking conditions.
Yeah, sorry, a little technical difficulty with the microphone there, Mark. But yeah, so obviously it ended up being a really long discussion.
It did.
And after about 2.5 hours, it ended up not being close, right?
Well, first of all, Councilman Russo asked if he could introduce a motion so that his fellow colleagues on the council can vote on whether or not to carve out Ward 3. And at first it didn't seem anybody was going to give him a second motion, but then finally Councilman at Large Doyle did second the motion. And when the votes were taken, everybody else said no, with the exception of Councilwoman at Large Emily Jabour, because she lives in Ward 3 and she went ahead with Councilman Russo to vote yes to leave Ward 3 out of the special improvement district.
So in the wee hours of the morning, they voted out a consent agenda, of course, like they do at every meeting. And one of those things was a matter about the e-scooters. Of course, we know that they voted about a week ago on the same thing, and it failed 5-2. There were 2 council members absent. That was Mike DeFusco and Peter Cunningham.
Right.
This time, it failed 6-3. We had Mike Russo, Emily Jabour, Jim Doyle voting in favor. So, Mark, I mean, what do you think of the political calculus here to try to give it another go after a pretty sound defeat the time before?
Yeah, that's a great question, John. I mean, Mayor Bala obviously is behind introducing the e-scooter program, saying that it provides all these alternative transportation options. But since that's been introduced, there's obviously been, I guess, some issues as far as how people, the residents or even non-residents, residents primarily that are using the scooters in town. There's even been some, I think, reports of some collisions and maybe people.
Public safety concerns across the board, right?
You're riding on the sidewalk as opposed to designated lanes in the street.
Right.
And so, Councilman Doyle, introduced by Councilman Doyle and Councilwoman Jabour, they introduced this non-binding, non-binding resolution that they hope will, the ballot question would be put to the voters whether or not to keep the e-scooters in Hoboken or to remove them completely.
Right. So yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, that resolution would have been if it actually made it to the ballot, which it didn't, it would be non-binding. So I mean, just an interesting turn of events. I mean, maybe the third time's a charm, but I don't think so. I think this one's dead on arrival.
It seems like it is at this point, John, yes.
So real quick, before we call it a day, Mark, I mean, I know you weren't there, but everybody's talking about this police-involved shooting that happened at the beginning of the month. And well, the prosecutor, Mayor Fuller, Public Safety Director Shea, many others. This was an event by the HCDO Black Caucus, and we heard some key details. And I think one key detail was that there's no body cam security footage because they were working a housing detail. And we also learned the names of the officers involved. That's Lieutenant Crisant Burgett, Raymond Vasquez, and Michael Jacobo. And according to Prosecutor Suarez, 2 of them are on desk duty and 1 of them remains out of work, but she didn't specify the particulars. So unfortunately, folks, we're going to have to call it a day there. Sorry to cut you a tiny bit short there, Mark. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Have a fantastic weekend.